Hey there, it's Katie Joy here, and I'm out having a wonderful walk at my national park where I come regularly to ground myself, connect, really awaken my soul at another level, to tune into my intuition and listen, just take that time to have the silence with my soul and listen to the beautiful birds. And I really wanted to shoot you this little video. I knew that when I was walking out today, I thought, I really have something, my soul is urging me to speak, and it's been urging me to share this for quite a while, but I really feel like now is the time to really bring this to your attention. And if you're watching this, I know that this message is for you. So I wanted to just first ask you, do you have this sense, this nudge, this urgency, this tapping, this intuitive knowing that your soul is calling you into action? It's calling you to activate your soul gifts at a whole awakening level, to really bring it into full fruition, to really step into your power with them. And maybe that's quite scary, or you're not really quite sure how to do that or what the next step is with that. Well, then this video is for you. I want to just spend a few moments with you to share with you a little bit about my journey and a little bit about how you can take those steps to really allow yourself to step into your full gifts. So first of all, I'm an empath, I'm a light worker. I haven't always appreciated my gifts. I've known that I've always had them, but I often quite suppress them, like most empaths, like most light workers, like most soul spiritual workers and miracle workers, and just there's this. That's part of the journey, by the way. That's a real part of the journey, on having those contrasting experiences that give us the shadow self, to not only wake up to those parts within ourselves that need healing from within us, but healing within our generation. And we're essentially the ones called to stand up to the wave of the energetic patterning that's been barreling down through the generations for years and years and years. And there is an additional energetic patterning in this 3D reality, on this grid, that really is designed to keep us enslaved and controlled and energetically sucked dry, and to shape our perspective to really keep it in a container, so to speak, so that it keeps us in a lack matrix, really disconnected from the highest connection of our higher self, disconnected from source, disconnected from our truth, and asleep from remembering who we really are. But the thing is, there are so many people waking up, which is so exciting. It's fabulous. It brings me to tears with joy, right? And I know that there is more and more people, and possibly you too, who feel like it's time for you to step forward, but you maybe feel scared and afraid. You're not really sure. There's that hesitancy about the unknown, and fear even of worthiness or not enoughness, or fear of judgment of self or by others. Maybe you're an entrepreneur, a spiritual entrepreneur, or maybe you are in a career, and maybe you in a transitional situation from a death, a divorce, or something that has maybe experienced some loss and grief, and it's waking you up to really step into more of what you need to step into for your soul. And maybe because it's not in the logical sense making sense, but there's a knowing that you need to do this. And I'm inviting you to trust that soul call, because it is happening worldwide, and it is important. You, me, all healers on the planet right now, this is why we're here. There is a massive acceleration, a massive quickening in the existing reality, the lack matrix, to suppress and make that even more lack. And a lot of people, even people who have been asleep for a very long time, are starting to be jolted awake, and that's quite traumatic as well. And which is why I believe that you as a healer, me as a healer, all the healers, empaths, light workers, spiritual entrepreneurs, storytellers, creatives, we're all healers. But we are needed to step up and hold that, do the inner work, awaken to our soul's gift, heal all those aspects within ourselves, and then from that space, being connected to source in our truest form and a remembering of our full creativity, we get to create in abundance. But not just that, it's about when you've done that inner work, and you've danced with the shadows of yourself and integrated the fragments of your soul that had been shattered and split and shared with maybe different parts of the world or universe or people, bringing them all back to home to step into a full sense of wholeness of self, holding your energy, being able to have a bigger container of capacity to be able to be a divine alchemist of transmuting and transcending through energy, negative energy, and shifting into a powerful positive energy so you can create from that place. I really believe that that's what's needed as healers, to be able to do that first so that we can collectively hold this wonderful space for so many more people who have been sleeping or just starting to wake up and facing the experience of what may feel like quite a traumatic or a post-traumatic stress disorder experience. I'm an ex-paramedic, by the way, so also background in personal training and a little bit in chiropractic and psychology. So, and I'm also an NLP master practitioner hypnotherapist. So the people that I work with, I get it. I get how the wounds of narcissistic control or psychopathic control or sociopathic control, they can be very deep. They can be very deeply rooted. But as real as those experiences are, they're also the greatest beautiful gifts that are provided to be able to help us really reclaim our power and step into the power of our energetic gifts, our psychic abilities, our intuition, our ability to create from an inside-out approach, pulling it down from the ether, the 5D, stepping into the 4D from a fully heart-activated experience, and an abundance matrix that's calling it in, and then that is then manifesting on the outside. In this even 3D grid, we can create this heaven on earth based on what we're truly creating from a narrative, a new narrative that allows us to create the healing for not only ourselves but for others. And it helps, and I really feel that we are collectively being called to all wake up fast, because, and I mean wake up to our full power, our full soul gift. No self-editing, no self-judgment, no beating up and or self-abuse. It's about stepping into the worthiness, stepping into your worthiness, stepping into your enoughness, knowing that it's all true. You're always enough. You're always worthy. Stepping into acceptance of what is. Like, you may not like some of the behaviors and the situations and the wars and whatever's going on in this reality, but are you going to let that determine your energy field, or are you going to take control of your soul gifts and use your energy field to now be a new influence on the grid? Because that's what you're being called to do, so that we can be a collective, vast abundance container of healing and love and light for the millions that are about to wake up but not have a clue where to even start. And when you've done the inner work and you're really stepping into the full awakened version of yourself, stepping into your soul gifts and creating from that place, now you get to really be that abundant, instantaneous healer. You get to be abundant, instantaneous creation. And sometimes it might not be like instant in the reality, though it can be, but it certainly is an instant knowing it's done, right? There's no more, okay, I want to create this experience in my life, but then there's all this mental chatter that's clogging up and dragging the emotional baggage of the old stories, weighing it down and clouding the request that you're calling in. Instead, what will happen is you just have one clear thought, one clear path, and you just focus all your energy, because it's abundant, you know it's available. And so you just step into that energetically, and then as a result of that, your actions are inspired. You know what you're going to be stepping into next, because it's just a matter of you stepping into that reality, and as it's unfolding and being reorganized in the ether, with all the people and the resources to be able to bring that into full fruition with you. So let go of the how, like if you're in, let's say if you're an entrepreneur, an empath, or a light worker, or a spiritual worker, or a miracle worker. If you're more of the entrepreneurial side, or maybe you want to start your online business or offline business, if your soul calls you to that, then that's cool. Otherwise, I highly encourage you to use your gifts, because you're psychic, right? You've got this ability to use these energy in the ether. You can do this from anywhere in the world. You can do it even without the digital technology. You can do it with just clear intention. But I say clear intention. It's that clarity of energy, of stepping into your full power, so that you can command that with full insight visualized and then impressed in the etheric field to pull it into this reality, because you've already created the energetic blueprint for it, and it's now just a case of it being activated. And sometimes that activation doesn't even require a lot of action from you. There's some synchronicities and wonderful experiences that happen with it. But if it is related to business or a practical goal, well, then it is going to require some activation. But I encourage you that it's inspired activation. But first, before you do that, you need to awaken to your full energetic gifts. And do that in a healing work, so that you don't feel like your energy is split or diluted, or holes in your energetic boundary that lead you to having poor boundaries with people and poor communication, because that's wounding. You still need to move from that wounded to that awakened state, right? So it's really important that you need to tune into doing the inner work, having that silence with self, getting yourself reorganized energetically, full of love and in that love frequency, so that you're in the abundance matrix when you're creating. Here's why. Because if you're in the lack matrix, which most people are designed to be in the lack matrix, and the system, by the way, the system in the 3D world isn't designed for you to get out of the 3D matrix with ease. This is a spiritual challenging journey. Like, you have to push against the conditions, the programming of what society has created by the powers that be, that don't want you to think, don't want you to activate your spiritual gifts. Why is that? Because you are powerful. You are way more powerful than any of the lack, crazy stuff that's going on in this 3D reality on this planet Earth. You're way more powerful, and it's a threat to them if you step into that activation, because you can't be controlled. You will be free. And your soul wants you to be free, right? That's the journey. See, in the lack matrix, it's designed to keep you stressed. It's designed to keep you distracted, distressed, diverted, divided. And so all of those things are designed to have you be stuck in the little small self, in the ego, in the fear, in the scarcity, in the lack, in self-judgment, in comparison, in unworthiness, in really low energetic frequencies. If you've ever looked into David Hawkins' consciousness scale, which I teach a lot with my students and my clients, is those low energies, those frequencies basically keep feeding into the system and into the network, this energetic network and this grid. And if you're in that fear frequency, you're going to have very poor boundaries as well, which means as an empath, you're going to amplify that feeling of all these energetic emotions from other people and absorbing them, taking them in, and being affected by that, rather than being a cause to creating a newer positive empowering effect of abundance. And so in order to be able to have that shift from that stress, that survival animal mind, that reptilian brain that's activated, the amygdala's kicking off with fear, and then your perception is then going to be hijacked. And when your perception's hijacked and you're in this belief system that, the world is a threat to you, that you are not enough, that you're not worthy, that people are going to judge you, that you don't trust yourself to move forward, you don't trust your intuition, that's all in survival, that's all in stress. Then that perspective is going to then limit you in your actions, or maybe most likely create inaction, because you'll hesitate, procrastinate, self-sabotage. You won't step into your full power. You'll keep yourself. No one else will do it for you, but you will keep yourself from stepping into your full soul gift activation and stepping into the abundance matrix. So what do you want to do instead, right? The key is you want to step into the abundance. Everybody wants to go to that, but there is specific things you need to do for a start. What's been keeping you locked into the stress and the survival mode is the story. It's the narrative that you have been dictating to yourself and to others, and that even fighting for, really trying to be seen, heard, and felt from that really limiting story because of the wounds. But if the minute you shift that story and you shift in by connecting inward with your soul, and you're tuning into your source, and you're tuning to the highest version of yourself, you're tuning into the identity and the self-image that you have with your highest self, not this low egoic version that's looking to be validated, but the version of yourself that already knows that you are a divine, magnificent being of love and light, that you don't need to be validated externally. You know you're enough. And therefore, because you know you're enough, you know you're worthy, you know that you are free, you know that you're powerful, you know how to tune into the infinite wisdom of the ether and the Akashic records, and be able to, and to the boundless calling in of wisdom through your higher self, other guides that can be able to share with you the insights and the inspiration, even your next steps. And you don't need to have anyone on the external world then to be able to tell you what to do or validate you with what your life mission, your life purpose, your next steps are. Even if there is a complete blackout on this planet, or massive conflict, crisis, or chaos, when you have your center in abundance and you're creating from that wonderful place of intention from the source, then you'll know what your next step is, and you'll do it calm. You'll do it with feeling centered. You'll do it knowing that everything's okay, that you're fully supported, that no matter what, that you'll always be able to create and move forward and support and call in and manifest what it is that your soul is guiding you to activate and manifest. And what would that reality look like for you? What would that heaven on earth look like for you? Instead of having the stress and the hell on earth experience, what is that heaven on earth experience for you? In using the abundance matrix, using the field of abundance, the energetic power that you have to tap into source through, and allow source to guide through you, so that you're channeling this information, like you're a portal of possibility for abundance and new creation from a frequency of love, not from a frequency of fear. Lack matrix, all about frequency of fear, all about keeping you small, stuck, controlled, energetic battery pack that's used to, feed the system. Control perspective to keep you limited and in fight, flight, fawn and freeze. And if most people know what fight and flight is, that's pretty common, but the freeze people know, stuck. But the fawn, what's that? Well, that's where you kind of go into that Stockholm Syndrome, where you sell out your soul to please an abuser, whether that's the government or a partner who's narcissistic, or a boss who, or it could be anyone who might even have good intentions, but you're doing it because you at some level are sabotaging in a lack matrix, feeling like your not enoughness means that you need to people please other people in order to be validated and be loved and be approved of, and therefore creating this situation, this story for yourself, but no one else is doing it. And if you are stuck in that place, or you know that you're in that place and you're wanting to move from it and you're just not sure how, one of the things that I'm offering coming up very, very soon is a few limited places to do a soul, like if your soul is calling you and activating your gifts into creating a new experience from an abundance, a love frequency, well, then I'm about to take on a small mentoring group. So you can click the link below and have a look at that if that resonates with you, if you're wanting to find out more about it. But what I want to invite you to do is to be able to start with really tuning in to your truth. And it's there. It's already there. You got to let go of all the other stuff that's devaluing your value. Just recently, this is a good little metaphor that I love, because just recently I went to an animal farm with all the Australian animals and with family, and we were watching the farm show where the shearer was shearing the sheep, and he sheared the sheep, whatever it is, and once the sheep goes, explaining about the whole experience, and then he flays out this sheep wool, a whole blanket thing that's just been cut off in one piece, essentially. And then he talks about to increase the inherent value of the wool, all they simply do is skirt the wool to pull off all the dags and all the wool that's really, it's dirty, it's mucky, right? It's full of dags, which is sheep poop. And, the penny dropped for me there, and I was like, wow, you know what? It really is as simple as letting go of the old stories, the old habits, the old thoughts, the old paradigm, the old programming of your inherent value is already there, but maybe, there's nothing necessary that you have to go and do or to become anything. It's just let that weight of those dags and release it, skirt off the crap, and you'll inherently increase the value of your own innate self, because you'll know you're letting go of the toxic habits. You know, a lot of people are here talking about let go of toxic people in your life. Well, if you're experiencing toxic people, it's because you are on a toxic frequency. And I get it. There's no judgment here from me, because I've been through this experience, and I don't have toxic people in my life anymore because I've done so much inner work and healing. But when you have toxic people, it's not an idea, it's not a good idea to just ditch toxic people before you've done the inner work and cleared the toxic frequencies. Because you'll create a space, and nature abhors a vacuum. And if you are on the same frequency, but you've pulled yourself away from and avoiding said toxic people who are simply reflecting back to you an opportunity for you to do the inner work, right? To be able to heal those parts of yourself, to unify and love those parts of yourself so that you're not judging them. You go into full acceptance of them. And when you do, that energy frequency shifts so that those people will change too, or they'll migrate out of your life anyway, or you'll use your feet to vote and you'll leave, but you've done the inner work first. If you don't do that first, what will happen is, because nature abhors a vacuum, you'll have space, but then another person, different face, same energy frequency, will show up. And that could be in a private relationship, it could be a job, if you're going from job to job, or it could be a client. You ditch one client because you figure out, oh my God, that was yuck. And but then you'll find another person who will reflect back to do that inner work as well. And you know, it's not saying that it's going to be all those people in your life, but these wonderful people, and I say wonderful, as painful as it is, it's because it's really painful. The ego sees it as pain, but the soul sees it as a wonderful gift. And I really believe that these are soul agreements we have with our tribe, who bring people into our life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And it doesn't matter whether it's private relationship, a personal relationship, or a friend or colleague or business or stranger or client or whatever it is. But like when we have these experiences that trigger, instead of using the survival mode to run or fawn, what would be really valuable is to look at the opportunity of what's the gift in this, what's the healing work that I can do within me, and what is this person reflecting back. And it could be very well be a boundary issue. Oh, I need to be able to step in my power and lovingly, respectfully, kindly hold my boundaries. I see many empaths who are in their winded state, and I used to do this too, who take this whole boundaries concept, but then they go into aggressive mode, or they resist to it because they feel like that means I've got to be aggressive. Well, that's still coming from the lack matrix, because that's coming from, you're going to want to ask yourself, what's the story that I'm assuming, that I'm telling myself, that I still feel like I'm being attacked, or I have to defend myself? Because defense is the same as attack. It's both in stress and survival. But when you shift the story for any conflict into a new, empowering, highest version in a love frequency, assuming the best, assuming the most magical outcome, assuming the most great good that comes with it, then your perception with that and what you believe and attached to that story is going to shift how you then behave and how you approach or how you take action, right? It's just, it makes sense when you unpack it. So at the very beginning and the very end, a lot of this transitioning from the lack to the abundance matrix into really creating a divine life, your ideal vision for your life. And it's key. Your vision first, before you can manifest it into your reality. You need to awaken your heart into opening up that portal to connect with your soul, to really listen and tune inwards and connect with source, to connect with the energy field, so that you are expanding your consciousness and you're expanding your energetic frequency, so that you can then tune into all of the possibilities available to you. Invoke the healing and do all that energetic work. Give yourself that love and step into that place where you tune into and you say, you know what, I love myself, I accept what is, I'm fully grateful for everything I have even right now. And that doesn't take away the desire to create more. It just simply, in fact, what it does, it gives you into an abundance frequency of like such deep gratitude and huge appreciation. And anything that appreciates in value. So you'll end up creating even more. So when you do all that, then you're going to be able to step into manifesting from a visionary place, from your activation, calling it in from the etheric field, thinking by creating an empowering story, an empowering new possibility. And you get to choose again and again and again and again. And the more that you refine that story and releasing all those dags, right? The value that's weighing it down, that's devaluing the direction of what you're traveling or what you're calling in to create. What is this? What's hanging onto that? You know, what are all the 68,000 beliefs and stories and noise and chatter and doubts and fear and anxiety and worry and doubt that's also rising up in your subconscious mind, connected with that. When you clear all that, now you're removing the energy blocks to allow yourself to be in complete flow of allowing life force energy to abundance to flow through you instead of trying to push your way forward in this 3D matrix from lack. And from lack, if you're coming from lack, you're going to compare yourself. You're going to think that there's competition. There is no competition in the abundance world, right? In the abundance, you're coming from your unique expression of love and light. And there is so much. There's over 7 billion people on the planet for you to connect with. I can tell you now, even with all the healers waking up into their fullness, we still need more, right? And there's a way for you to create great abundance from your gifts in healing and creating, whether that's, and creating could be practical, like engineering or architecture or anything like that, or it could be creating in the sense of drawing, or it could be creating in healing consciousness. It could be anything. For you as a creator, it's what are you going to be creating to manifest in this reality? So I hope this has been of great value for you. Let me know down below in the comment section what your thoughts are on this experience. And if you'd like to be part of that mentoring group or have a look at what's on offer, then just simply click the link below and it'll take you through. Much love, light, manifesting lots of magic. I'm going to go continue my walk. And may you create abundance in your life with lots and lots of love. Mwah.